Thank you.
What I spoke of, what I saw is that which I said. I would then not say what she saw. She will come herself and say it in court.
And further on, Kaylee would come and tell this court that Senzo, Ntoko, meaning yourself, and Mr. Madlala were busy struggling with the gunman.
Aqhubekeke uKelly azoyitshela noma azeke azoyitshela lenkantolo ukuthi uSenzo umthoko esho wena-ke kanye noMadlala bona-ke babekwisana-ke noma bestruggle no gunman.
Is this how it happened?
To me, it didn't happen like that. I've already mentioned or told the court as to how it happened, but she will come and say it herself here in court.
Thank you. Mr. Thwala, this court has heard the testimony of Mr. Madlala. He went into details describing how the incident happened in the house.
Lenkantolo isikuzwile ubufakazi bakhe umnumzana uMadlala bangena kabanzi-ke echazela yona lenkantolo ukuthi yini eyenzeka endlini.
Now, briefly, what I want to put to you and what I want you to comment on is the following.
Engifuna ukukwazisa noma ngitshele kona-ke noma futhi engifisa nokuthi-ke uphawuleke noma ube nento oyishoyo yilokho okulandelayo.
Mr. Madlala told this court that Senzo, or let me put it this way, Mr. Madlala told this court that the two suspects or the two intruders got into the sitting room.
Awakutshela lenkantolo-ke umnumzana uMadlala yilokho okulandelayo ukuthi laba babili abangena endlini bangena baya e-sitting room.
As a court, please, that is not according to my recollection. We have the evidence of Mr. Madlala. If counsel can perhaps refer to that particular evidence in the record, ma'am, just to obviate any doubt in this regard. As a court, please.
As it please the court, my lord. It could be my sentence construction was a little bit skew in that regard. And in any event, those who requested them, I never got hold of them. But in any event, I request to proceed. Let me put the question in a different way.
Yes.
Mr. Madlala told this court that the deceased had a wrestle with the second suspect and not with the first suspect, as you said.
Umnumzana uMadlala-ke akutshela lenkantolo ukuthi umufi umuntu-ke awaye struggle naye-ke noma ebambene naye-ke kwakuwulo wesibili hayi lo wokuqala nanjengoba wena ushilo.
Now,
yes.
Are you aware that there's a contradiction between what you told to this court and what Mr. Madlala told this court?
Ingabe uyazi-ke manje ukuthi kukhona-ke ukungahambisani-ke noma ukuphikisana-ke okhona kulokhu wena okushoyo nalokhu okushiwo umnumzana uMadlala.
As a court, please, my lord, we don't really want to interfere with counsel's cross-examination. We have a record. If counsel refers to a specific point, and we don't want to prescribe as to how he should conduct his cross-examination, but it would be very helpful if he can refer to a specific portion of the record so that there's no doubt in this regard, my lord.
Yes.
Thank you, my lord.
Advocate Mnisi, I don't know whether, wouldn't it help to have that record near you all the time, because we seem to be doing the same thing over and
I
over.
did not get that, madam.
Wouldn't it be wise to put your question from what you get from the record so that we don't keep on referring like we are doing?
There was a bit of a disturbance in the plastic. The court is saying if I'm putting something to this witness, then I need to specifically point it out.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Mr. Baloyi is saying that, but what I'm saying is that as you put questions, if you could have pre-knowledge about where that question centers, so that when your question is challenged, we don't spend time again with you searching for where it is in the record.
My Lord, I just want to take the court directly to where I got this information from.
Rose?
I don't have the record. I don't have the record.
Does it please the court, my Lord?
There's something in it.
If you can go to page 48. Page 48 of the proceedings of the 13th of 09/2022. Page 48, I don't know if everybody is there, particularly the state. On line number, I think from line number 3, page 48, the proceedings of the 13th of 09/2022. Mr. Jonas indicates, my Lord, that it does not have the record himself. I don't know if the state can assist us so that Mr. You can also have it. Oh, there it is, there it is. There. My Lord, I only had the benefit of having a record where Mr. Madlala was being cross-examined. I did not have the benefit of the record where he gave his testimony in chief.
Okay.
As I said, not all the information that I requested made available, but be that as it may, page 48, line number 3, I think it starts up there with Ms. Mshololo said, I greet my Lord, then Mr. Baloyi, yes, then Mr. Madlala. Also, when I got up, because I'm just told, my Lord, that this is actually evidence in chief. Because I'm seeing so many names there, some stage I confused it with whether or not it was under cross-examination. But nonetheless, whether it was in chief or it was in cross-examination, this is what Mr. Madlala said, under oath. Mr. Madlala says, also when I got up, because it was now just up and down in the house, I saw now the second guy in the kitchen. He was right there at the kitchen, because Senzo was holding this guy's right hand like this, and he was him against the wall. And the court then wanted to make a clarification. Then the court said, was he holding the first or the second guy? Then Mr. Madlala said, no, he's the tall one. He's the tall one. That's the second guy. And then the court went on to say, how was he holding him? Mr. Madlala said with his right hand like this, my lord, pressing him against the wall.
Sibuza inkantolo ukuthi awayembambe kanjani asho ukuthi lesandla sakhe sakwesokuda imbambe imcindezele ubondini emdogeni.
There it is, my lord. I don't know if there is still an objection. I'm not so sure whether there is still an objection, my lord.
There was no objection, my lord. We're just saying if council can just refer to the relevant passages.
Okay, no. Thank you, my lord.
Okay.
Mr. Thwala, you told the court that the deceased had a struggle with the person who had a firearm.
Utshelele inkantolo Mnumzana uThwala ukuthi umufi umuntu ke ayenesihlalo naye yilo owayephethe isibhamu.
We have already referred to the record, and Mr. Madlala was there. And as per your testimony, you said Mr. Madlala was sober, and that is also what he said.
Siqeda ke manje ukukhombisa le record. Yilokho ke okushiwo uyena ke uMnumzana uMadlala. Ushilo ke ubufakazi bakho ukuthi uMnumzana uMadlala wayesoba naye ke wakusho lokho.
In that state of his soberness, Mr. Madlala says, what I saw there is the deceased, is that the deceased had an altercation with the second guy.
Kulobo kusoba bakhe ke uMnumzana uMadlala uthi umufi umuntu ke awayebambene naye noma exaxula naye yilo omude.
Now, do you realize that there's a contradiction between what you told to this court and what Mr. Madlala told to the court?
Manje ke uyabona ke yini ukuthi kukhona ukuphikisana ke kokushoyo wena naloko okushiwo uMnumzana uMadlala.
Ngiyakuzwa ukuthi uthini.
Do you see that there's a contradiction between what Mr. Madlala told to this court and what you told to this court, yes or no?
Ingabe uyabona yini ukuthi kukhona ke ukuphikisana ke ukuthi anikhulumi into eyodwa okushiwo wena nokushiwo uMr. Madlala, yebo noma cha?
I don't think vele sokhuluma into eyodwa. Ngoba vele ngeke sizosibona into eyodwa ngokufana. Mina ngikutshela okwenziwa imina okwenze engakubona mina phambi kwami.
I don't think that we will say the same thing because we won't see the same thing in the same manner. I am saying that which I saw which happened right in front of me.
I'm not asking what is it that you saw. I'm not asking whether you will see the same thing or not. I'm asking you whether do you realize that there's a contradiction between what you told to the court and what Mr. Madlala told to the court. It's simple. I don't want an explanation.
Angikubuzi ke ngowabona akwabona uyena ukuthi nabona into eyodwa nabona ngokwahlukile engikubuza bona ukuthi nje angifune ukuthi ke uchazeke ukulula nje ukuthi yiloko okushiwo uMr. Madlala asikona lokho okushoyo wena yiloko ngikubuza ukuthi uyabona yini ukuthi anikhulumi into eyodwa.
Yebo sikhuluma into eyodwa.
Yes, we are not saying the same thing.
Thank you. And you would agree with me that the altercation between Senzo and whoever got in the house was one of the defining moments in the episode of what happened in the house.
Futhi ke
Or was an eye-catching moment, if I were to put it like that.
Did you say altercation?
Excuse
Did
me?
you say altercation?
No, eye-catching moment, eye.
Okay.
Yes, that incident itself was an eye-catching moment.
All right.
Thank you.
futhi ke uyabona ukuthi lokho okwenzeka phakathi kukaSenzo naloyo ke umuntu lowo awayebambene nami noma ke ephushana naye noma exaxula naye ukuthi kwakuyiyona into ebangela ukuthi ke abantu noma labo abasendlini ke noma babheke ukuthi iyona into nje eyayidonsa amehlo kuloko okwakwenzeka lapha yena.
Ngiyakuzwa ukuthi uthini. Sorry kodwa mawusuthi lokho kubamba or eye catching moment usho kuphi ngesikhathi ukuqala ukwenzeka noma usukhuluma ngokwase kitchen. Ngoba phela uSenzo wakuphushana nomuntu suka eqala ukwenzeka isikhafu sasuka edining ephushana noyesibhamu beya ekitchen.
I hear what you say, but when you say eye-catching, are you referring to when the incident started right in the dining room or the sitting room up to the kitchen, or are you referring specifically to the kitchen when you say eye-catching?
I'm referring to the altercation that Senzo had with whoever that he could have had. whether in the dining room, in the sitting room, and or in the kitchen.
Engikhuluma ngakho mina ngikhuluma nje ngalokhu okwenzeka phakathi kukaSenzo naloyo ke awayebambene naye nokubambana naye nokuphushana naye nokustruggle naye noma kwakwenzeka lokho kwenzeka e-sitting room noma e-kitchen.
There goes that word again. I asked about altercation earlier and you said no. The word you used is eye-catching. But now I hear you saying altercation. Are you saying altercation?
No, my lord, I think the court did not understand me. Let me explain what I said. I said to this witness, does he agree with me that the tussle between Senzo and whoever that he tussled with was an eye-catching moment?
And what
it was a defining moment.
And what is your question now?
Excuse me, my lord.
Yeah, the question you asked just now.
I'm still asking him the same question.
Okay.
As a court, please, my lord. It is an established rule that matters of argument, my lord, should rather be raised in argument. Now, this witness is confronted with a matter that should rightfully be raised in argument. For instance, it was put to him what Mr. Madala testified about what happened in the kitchen. That Mr. Madala testified that the struggle between the deceased and the second suspect. And it was put to him that he is contradicting Mr. Madala, whereas this witness testified about the struggle between the deceased and the first suspect who was armed in the corridor, my lord. We submit, my lord, that it will be perhaps confusing to this witness to put events that happened at a different time as if it's a contradiction, my lord. If one looks at what this witness testified and as to what Mr. Madala testified, they talk about incident at different times. And as you say, my lord, it's perhaps not correct then to say that there is a contradiction when they talk about the same incident but at different times. He testified about what happened from the entrance of the sitting room up to the in the passage up to the ark. Mr. Madala is testifying about what happened there in the kitchen. As a court visit.
There you are.
I still don't understand the basis of the objection, my lord, but I do understand that sometimes it gets to be an uncomfortable situation for a person who is called a witness, and to find that that witness is unable to be able to explain certain issues in his testimony when that is being raised under cross-examination. But I don't think there is anything that this witness does not understand. This witness perfectly understands what I'm saying. So I'm going to request the court to order that this witness answer the question that I've asked him. This objection has no merits, my lord. Thank you.
Mr. Thwala, do you want to respond to that question?
I think nami ngimbuzile nombuzo buzo advocate baloyi ukuthi ukhuluma ngani esukela edining uthi eye catching yakhe isuka edining la kuqale khona iscaffold noma u refer to a kitchen, what both. So angazi ukuthi ngizomphendula kanjani. So noba Mr. Baloyi is objected to the very same thing lento engiyibuzile nami ekuqaleni.
I think, my lord, I asked Advocate Mdntv the very same thing that Advocate Baloyi is objecting to, as to whether when counsel referred to eye-catching, whether that moment starts in the dining room or is it in the kitchen, and then counsel said both. And then I don't know when to answer if he says both, which is the very same thing that Advocate Baloyi is objecting to.
Let me assist you. Let me assist you, Mr. Thwala. Let me quickly assist you.
He's requesting to proceed to the practice.
Excuse me.
he was just making a request to proceed. He wasn't done.
Oh, okay, no, it's fine.
And the wesibili mawungibuza umbuzo ufaka altercation lo Mr. umail or ujudge akubuza ngawo but mususho wena usuphinda uthi eye catching so nami uyangidida lapho kabili.
And secondly, you made use of the word altercation, and then when the court inquired or tried to clarify that issue with you, we then said eye catching. So that also where you confused me.
I can confirm that you are using the word altercation, and when I follow up on altercation, you switch to eye catching.
No, my lord, the court does not understand what I'm trying to say. I am saying the tussle, let me take out the word altercation.
But did you use the word altercation?
Yes, I use it, my lord.
Yeah.
Altercation
Yeah,
and
now
eye-catching are two
I sought
different
clarity.
words.
I sought clarity from you to say, did you say
Alterca-
altercation?
Yes,
And you
I-
said no. I said eye catching. That's where
Maybe-
I also end up. not
Maybe
knowing.
when I said no to the question, to the court's question, when the court said, did I use the word altercation, and I said no, maybe I did not understand the court. But this is what I'm saying, my lord.
Yeah, the reason why I needed to follow up on
Yes.
altercation is because in the evidence
Yes.
that I listened to, I did not get any sense anywhere in the evidence where there was an altercation between Senzo and anybody.
My lord, to me, that's just a question of semantics. Is it altercation, pushing, wrestling, tussling? I mean, to me, those are generic words. It would basically mean one thing.
Oh, so you are saying you are lumping the word altercation together with those words, pushing and wrestling and
I don't understand when the court says lumping.
including.
Yes, I'm using them interchangeably.
Oh.
Interchangeably. When I say wrestling, when I say altercation, when I say tussling, when I say pushing, basically referring to the same thing, my lord.
Okay, let's.
But let me clarify what
let
the
me
court-
leave it for now because
Yes.
I will also follow up on the word altercation, but it doesn't matter.
Let me-
Yesterday when we used words,
Yes.
wrestling, tussling, and so forth, we did not include altercation. Altercation came up only this morning. That's why I followed up. But it doesn't matter. You say it's semantics, and you are saying you are using them interchangeably.
That is so, my lord.
There comes my clarity then.
But let me then explain, my lord, because I can see there's a confusion between the eye-catching and altercation. My question to this witness is, would he agree with me that the tussling between the deceased, that is now Senzo, with whoever that he might have tussled with or wrestled with, was an eye-catching moment in that whole episode? In other words, it was a defining moment. It's something that whoever was there should and could have seen it.
Yeah.
Yes. That is exactly what I'm putting to this with. And now he's asking me whether that do I refer to what happened in the kitchen or to what might have happened in the sitting room.
Yes.
Thank you. Let me explain it to you like this. In your testimony, you said there's a person that got into the dining room, into the sitting room, and after a long way, it stood up, that gave the opportunity to others who were there in the house to also stand up, and Senzo, there and then, approached this person. Now I don't know what word to use. Whether should I use tussling, wrestling, altercation, but whatever that happened. But Senzo approached this man, approached him, and there was a tussle between Senzo and that person, which ensued into a pushing towards the kitchen. That's your testimony.
Ubufakazi bakho uthe kwangena-ke loyo muntu wangena e-sitting room wasukuma ulongwe-ke uphusha loyo muntu waphumela ngaphandle. Emuva kwalokho-ke kwase besukuma-ke wonke umuntu kodwa-ke kakhulukazi usenzo-ke waya kuyena loyo muntu leyo noma kwenzekani-ke phakathi kwabo bobabili usenzo naloyo muntu uphushana i-altercation ukuresela i-struggle kodwa-ke yaqala khona lapho kwase kushana-ke beyofikelela khona ekhishini ushilo ubufakazi bakho.
Yebo.
Yes.
That is exactly my question. That process would not be a defining process. In fact, whatever happened between Senzo and the person that we do not know now, who he basically pushed or he was wrestling with, but that pushing between Senzo and whoever that person was one of a defining moment in this whole incident.
The court, please, my lord. Matters of what weight to attach to any evidence is what this court must determine. A witness cannot be asked, my lord, to explain the fact that certain aspect is very important. It's for this court to determine that we submit, my lord, that there is an unfair question to expect the witness to give an opinion as to the weight to be attached to a specific portion of the evidence.
This is the court, my lord. I'm not requesting this witness to attach any specific weight to evidence. I'm simply saying to him, would he agree with me when I say that incident of pushing between Senzo and whoever that pushing happened between Senzo and that other person constituted a defining moment in that house? He can simply say no. To him it was just an ordinary thing, or he can simply say yes, it constituted a defining moment. I'm not asking this witness to assist this court to attach a particular weight to an aspect of evidence. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm simply asking him, would he agree with me or not?
Mr. Thwala, do you know what a defining moment? I don't want you to answer to a question you don't understand. Do you know what a defining moment is?
I think I understand a bit what he's trying to say.
Okay. Do you want to answer that question? There you
Ngicabanga
are.
ukuthi ngiyamuzwa-ke ummeli azama ukubuza usho-ke kodwa-ke ngifisa-ke ukuthi ngingawuphenduli-ke loyo mbuzo.
Thank you. Now back to my original question. Do you then realize that there's a contradiction between yourself, in fact, between what you told to this court and what Mr. Madlala told to this court?
Ngiphinde ngibuyeleke.
As a court pleases, we don't really want to go in circles, but we've already raised the objection that if counsel feels that there's any contradiction, there's an issue that should be argued, but the evidence cannot be taken out of context and then it's put to this witness that there is a contradiction. We've mentioned that they're talking about two different stages during the same incident. He's testifying about what happened between the deceased and the suspect was armed with a firearm there at the entrance to the sitting room in the corridor, and Mr. Madala is talking about an incident that happened right there in the kitchen. So God please.
Mr. Mnisi?
As it is the court, my lord. My lord, maybe I need to add,
You know what, Mr.
I need to take this aspect further with the witness.
Yeah, Advocate Mnisi.
Yes, ma'am.
My sense of what is in issue between the way Advocate Baloyi sees this thing and how you see it is that you